All right, everyone. For you guys, this is hello and goodbye because I fully expect in this show, I fully expect to lose subscribers. Uh, I have deemed myself the reselling potentate today. Rules are not, I do not follow rules because YouTube will tell you don't tell the truth, don't be nice to people. Man, to hell with that. You need to hear the truth. So today you will get the truth. Welcoming Grumpy. Grumpy doesn't care, and you never know what the hand looks like, so you'll there will be no hate his way. Folks, I'm going to tell you the truth about why eBay is struggling. A good chunk of it, and a lot of people are not going to like it. Just as simple as that. We'll talk about the layoffs too. If you're not aware, eBay employees are working from home today, so it's probably not a good day to be calling for eBay customer service. They're working from home today on a Zoom call, waiting to see whether their 1 in 10 employees are being terminated today. So
and it's effective immediately.
So what does that tell you? So you guys don't see I was late. I usually put this link up about 30 minutes early. I was watching a video, so I was a little late, and so you don't get the early stuff. John had an interesting thought this morning. And we'll see if anybody else. I had not thought about it, but it's a crazy thought. So how was your fourth quarter? How was sales in the fourth quarter for the rest of the world, not you? Normally the media will be out there saying, sales for the fourth quarter were up 3% over forecast, or they were under 2%, or they were what? This was a weak fourth quarter. They are definitely silent over the fourth quarter. Not a word, not a nothing, not an estimate, not a nothing over the fourth quarter. I had not really paid attention to that, but that is crazy. That when is the last time in my lifetime I have never heard them go deathly silent. That tells you the machine that controls everything knows that the economy is so soft. If they start mentioning it, it's a direct reflection of what happens this year later on, and they can't put any more negative in on the current way things are going, because the way things are going is the way the powers that be want it to. You have to understand that what you're dealing with. It's crazy. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Great observation from John this morning. Ed, you were like two minutes late, Ed.
Tactical Z says my sales were about the same as last year's. Everybody's sales were about the same as last year's. Here's the problem with that: with the prices up so high, what was the actual unit count?
Yeah. See, the illusion that your sales are the same is because prices are generally up. I mean, look where we are, and they'll tell you, well, inflation has settled in. Inflation is not going up anymore. But we're up on damn near double digit inflation, and you're maintaining the double digit inflation from last year. So only if inflation is up 3 or 4%, you're sitting on 2 years of double digit inflation, or pretty close to it, 8-9%. And just go to the damn grocery store, for God's sake, and look at what things cost. Here's a great example. When you're in Walmart or when you're in the grocery store, remember it when you're at the aisle and at the register, they've got all this stuff, supposedly cheap stuff laying around for you to pick up on your way out. Look at the price of candy bars and shit. All that stuff, all the trinkets and stuff that they have for you to just grab one while you're standing there while you're waiting on the register. That stuff used to be 50 cents, $1. I mean, it was shocking. I just saw that the other day. I'm like, I had not noticed how much. And then go looking at what things cost.
How would it? You get to look at my messy place.
I cleaned up for everybody, so there you go.
I put the trash in the middle of the floor so I don't forget to take it out.
So we'll do the title of the show later, because I didn't count on eBay axing 10% of the workforce, 9% today. So I really, my reaction to that is was different than John's. My reaction, we talked about it just for a minute before we started. My reaction is you got a hedge fund manager in charge and they see an opportunity to increase their bottom line because all the other tech giants are. Don't miss this. eBay's not the only one. Google, Amazon, there's quite a few of these big tech, Apple, these tech giants have released thousands of employees over the last 6 months. You don't believe me? Do a quick search. The tech giants are releasing tons and tons of employees. Um, why, if the economy was so great and everything was so wonderful, do you let go of your employees? I think it's eBay control of my reaction is a hedge manager taking an opportunity to fix the bottom line because his job is to bring value to shareholders, and the short sighted view of that is we can cut labor. We can cut labor. They're not doing anything. We can cut labor. We've already taken as much money as we can take from the sellers right now. They're bleeding. So let's cut employees. So tell them your opinion, John. Who do you think they cut, and why do you think they cut it?
I think they cut a lot of middle management and a lot of jobs that are growth oriented, meaning they work on projects that could be profitable in time. But now they got to, everybody knows this market's soft. Nobody wants to say it, but this market's soft. So now to maintain profit, you have to understand Jamie's job is to generate profit for the shareholders. That's the only responsibility of the CEO is to increase income and profitability. So he's cutting labor that is not essential to the profit of the business as it stands right now. Not saying that it's going to increase profit. What it's going to do is it's going to streamline eBay as a business model. Will they cut research and development? Yes. Will they cut platform modifications? Yes. Will they cut low-level jobs? Yes. Will they cut middle management? Middle management is going to take the brunt of this. I bet you, if you get down into it, half, probably close to half, will be middle management.
And you said the rest
people that stand around and just collect information from low-level people to pass it on to higher management.
You also thought that some of it would be automation. They'd be looking to replace some of these people, but automation of AI, so whatever it is.
Every company does that. All when the economy's strong, you don't do it as much.
Because you're betting on having them people produce money. You're betting on them delivering value to a company, and but this has been you're right from a historical perspective. When times, and it should tell you that times are getting really tough. When times are really tough, that's when middle managers get chewed up. Somebody asked a question. I want to answer it real quick. I want to know how you buy 8 items, and the easiest way to do it is to have them pay for all 8 items, and then you send them an invoice with an adjusted total, and they pay the. But that's assuming you don't that you don't have automatic payment turned on. If you do, they should be able to put them in their cart and then pay all at once or something. You're gonna have to do a refund of some sort. There's no other way to combine shipping. That's why the smartest thing to do is to set up your business policies. Whereas they buy one item, the second item is discounted, the third item is discounted, and then you don't have to worry about it. But some people sell larger items, and that's not possible. But you sell a lot of like kind items. A business policy is your answer to keep this from happening in the future.
What people don't understand is this is soft landing. People are saying soft landing. Some people are saying, "Oh, this is just the new normal." This is part of a business cycle. It's different this time, though, because these 1,000 people are going to have an effect on the whole economy because as they don't have the money to spend, it's going to affect other businesses, which is going to start to snowball.
Sorry.
This has been a long-term problem for eBay. This is you have to understand when you talk about their platform, you have to understand their platform. When they built their platform, they had an infrastructure, and what they decided to do was ride that infrastructure out. Where Jeff Bezos, on the other hand, is constantly updating. eBay rode for so long that it became so outdated that it's almost impossible without shutting it down for 6 months to update it. They're trying to put patches in, but it's like putting Band-Aid on a freaking, bullet wound. It just doesn't work all the time.
So Heather says, yeah, that was only 3 million, but the the crew that stalks, they probably got laid off. So they're probably, the stalking division of eBay is probably getting laid off today.
The $3 million had no effect on. It's like 10 cents out of your pocket, guys. 3 million is peanuts.
So I don't 60 Q sales are probably not down 66% CC, but I have noticed that the YouTubers doing clearance shopping are fewer. So here's the thing I want to mention about this is it's not just those. It's a lot of the big YouTubers in general. A lot of the YouTubers I watch have slowed down and are doing other things because it's not that they don't like YouTube. It's not that they're any less popular. The ad revenue and the share of ads has gone way down. If you have a monetized YouTube channel, and remember you only get what 55% of the ad revenue or whatever whatever that number is. That pool has shrunk dramatically. Remember, and that's just and it's not. So that's a combination of things. If you remember this time last year, there was all the reports out that YouTube was inflating how many people were seeing the ads, and they really didn't. They didn't deliver on the contracts. I don't know if y'all remember that, but it was a big brouhaha for a few weeks about how Google was going to be in trouble because they were not delivering ads to their customers were and so what's the natural reaction to that? You've got an economy that's slowing way down. You've got a company that's got kind of caught, overinflating, how valuable their ads are. And all of a sudden the ad pool dollars is gone way down because those two things have combined. Because, people's YouTube views are not down. People are on, I would tell you YouTube views are probably going up, but, so Joy said if you include everything, overall inflation is closer to 30%. Joyce, I have no doubt about it. And so the stuff that people forget, they were talking about it above you, is look at the size of things. You go get that bag of chips, and that 16-ounce bag of chips is now 14 ounces. You think that's not a big deal, but how do you lose? What percentage is? That's 2 ounces. Two out of 2 ounces is huge. And so you start looking at if you like 2 ounces or that percentage off of all your products, and you paid more for them, but that's not included in the rate of inflation. To weather the storm, you invest in postcards. I hear you. So Ed, I don't think it's just a California thing. I think it's a worldwide thing. The more they dive into things, it's the easiest place to cut. I ran restaurants for years. You got two controls in restaurants. You got food and labor. Most companies have the same thing. They have, they have labor and they have their other processes. And generally, labor is the easy one.
It's the second easiest.
They they fired the guys in the server department. That's exactly what they did.
The first place, every business, the first place that labor is actually the third. The first place they cut is research and development. The first thing they cut is all wasted spending that is not producing a profit. So research and development would be the first area that somebody cuts. The second area people cut is advertising. I didn't see too many eBay ads for Christmas.
You wouldn't have seen him anyway. I've never seen him in my entire life other than eBay Motors.
The third place will be labor. That's usually the order of a mid-size. Smaller companies, the first place they look for is labor. Um, but when you get into the mid-size to larger companies, the first thing they do is cut all research and development. The second thing they cut is advertising, and the third thing is labor. And it's exactly how I went. I cut all my research and development. I cut into my advertising. I lowered my advertising budget. Um, and the third thing I did was I reduced my labor force by more than 15%. So
So
when
Tamara say, go ahead. I'm sorry. Tamara
when
said,
companies do this stuff, you got to look at your company and go, what adjustments do I need to make within my business? And I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off. Go ahead.
no, but Tamara's saying she's back from her first cruise since COVID, and she noticed the cutbacks. What's a way for a cruising company to do? They cut back services. It's um,
They clean my room once a day instead of twice. I just got back from a cruise too. They usually come in and make your bed in the morning, and then they come back and turn down a turn down service at night. Carnival now does it once a day.
So flipping good, you got to pay attention to Amazon. Amazon's been messy. The thing that gets people is Amazon says, we're going to put a fee out there if you run out of stock using FBA. But nobody wants to talk about lowering FBM fees. It's not popular. They don't want to talk about, we're putting this fee on there, but we're also lowering other FBA fees and other things so that the net they're playing the long-term game. They understand that the long-term game is they can get a little bit more for a low stock fee they can on other things. So they've reduced a lot of things to make that effect not great, but they're going to get that over the long term. People don't, but all people see is oh my God, there's another fee, but they don't read the part. We're reducing all these other things, but there's a minimal effect, but it's a lasting fee that you're going to have for the rest of it. Yeah. So, they talk about small and light. They killed small and light. They killed small and light. They didn't kill small and light. Small and light used to require you to enroll in each individual item in the program in order to get more of those items on FBA because they are lower price items that sell very quickly, $9.99 or less. Amazon said, you know what, we're just going to lower the fees for everyone. So all your $9.99 or less items that weigh a certain amount or a certain size, we're just going to give you a discount. Oh, but there are so many people who were getting an advantage because they would take the time to enroll their products. Everybody goes, oh my God, they killed it. No, they made it where it's less for everybody. So it's a way. So let's talk about the real truth about what's wrong with eBay. And so for those of you who are very thin-skinned, thanks for tuning into this part of the show. It's been nice knowing you. I hope you get your information somewhere else because you're probably about to leave. Because I can tell you one of the biggest problems on eBay right now, whether anybody wants to admit it or not, it's been a problem for a long while.
Can I guess?
New sellers are ignorant. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna put it right out there. eBay allows people to come on this platform without really vetting them, without any barrier to entry. They get bad information, and there is an ignorant class of new sellers. You look at the face. All you have to do is go spend 5 minutes in a Facebook group where you want to slam your head against the fucking wall. These people. So what do? They have no concept of customer service. They are so entitled. This new entitlement class. They are so entitled to. They're entitled to sales. They're entitled to. Oh my God, I'm gonna call eBay. I'm gonna call eBay. I'm gonna call eBay. I've got concierge service for. Concierge service. I have not called eBay in four years.
Wait a minute. It's not just new sellers.
But the ones that I see are mainly. So here's the problem. I wake up yesterday morning, and the person is saying, "I have someone who wants to cancel an order, but I have no returns. If I cancel this, I'm setting a precedent that I'm gonna have to do this, and then I'm just gonna send it to them." Folks, when did customer service die? When did we become so hateful that we're not kind to people? That if somebody says, "Hey, I messed up. Could you please cancel this?" There's no skin off your back. You sold it once, you'll sell it again. I don't understand why would you wouldn't do this in person. you wouldn't talk to somebody and treat them this way in person, but yet you get behind this computer or behind your phone and become a giant asshole. It's we gotta call this stuff out. Quit being, oh, just be nice into Facebook. They need to learn. No, somebody needs to call them out for being so fucking hateful right at the beginning. If you've got a new person that's making a decision that is so bad at customer service that it affects your business because that's how people, you force that. Could I please cancel? No, you already bought it, and you send it to them. You know what that does? That customer now hates eBay because the eBay seller sucked. You want to know why your sales are down? Everybody goes, well, eBay's chasing customers away. Folks, bad sellers chase customers away. Until you accept the fact that bad sellers and hateful motherfuckers chase customers away, we're never going to fix it.
Oh, you cussed.
I cuss. It makes me so mad because somebody who has spent the time to look all through search and fight through the eBay problems and found my item, you know, I want to treat them with kindness. I want to do whatever I can. I had a guy yesterday say, "Hey, you left something out of my package." You know what? You know what I said? I didn't accuse him of stealing it. I didn't do anything else. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. I will ship that out first thing in the morning. I will update your tracking in the morning. I'm so sorry. Let me make that up to you. I didn't call them a thief. I didn't call them a liar. It's just a cable. I'll send the cable out. No big deal. I thought I put one in. Maybe I didn't. Who knows? Even the reselling potentate makes a mistake. Sorry, I do. It's until we get to the point where we as a everybody wants to so quick to say, oh, the reselling community. We're not a community. If we allow these terrible sellers to continue on, and we allow these terrible people on the internet to give terrible information to, how many people do these people influence to tell them these negative ways to treat customers? Until we call out bad influencers, until we call out bad sellers, until we shout them down and force them to do the right thing, for God's sakes. When did it become so difficult in the society to do the right thing? I don't care what everybody else is doing around you. I don't care if the government is screwing you. That is not an excuse for you to not do the right thing and treat people kindly.
I can't remember when the last time was I called eBay. I have called eBay for mistakes that I made. The last time I called, I think, was over the Confederate flag. When that dude went in and shot up that church and they banned all Confederate flags. Well, before they banned it, I had like 80 some sales on eBay for Confederate flags.
I had a lady. I told y'all last week I had a lady with a pair of shoes. They were a whatever Model 10 size 7. She made a mistake and thought they were a size 10, whatever. And so when I sent her the size 7, she got the size, didn't get the size she expected. She left me negative feedback. I didn't send an email blasting her. I didn't put this in a Facebook group. I looked over the listing to make sure I didn't screw up because I screw up.
Oh, this is the one you were writing about for 2 hours to me?
Yeah, that was it. I was calling you. I looked at it and go, hey, wait a minute. I was actually right. And so I sent the lady a message saying, hey, I actually didn't make the mistake you did. And I said, please look at the listing. They are a Model 10 size 7, not a size 10. And I get the message back saying, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I did make the mistake. Let me correct the feedback. Folks, people make mistakes just like you make mistakes. I didn't yell at her. I didn't scream at her. I didn't call her names. I didn't call eBay. I didn't do any of that stuff. I made them. I didn't screw up. Okay, let's send them a message. Imagine that. I got a customer who's probably a really good person, made a mistake. Why do I crucify that person? They fix it and we move on. You treat people kindly. It is. You can differentiate yourself in the marketplace by delivering good customer service. It's what used to work. The things that used to work still work. We just don't do them anymore. Why in small town America was the mom and pop shop, so why were they so wildly successful for so long? It's because they were your neighbors. They treated you kindly. What Why is Ace Hardware still in business, for God's sakes? Go in there, and a lot of stuff is overpriced because they are so nice in there, and they, you ask them about something, take you right to it. They're knowledgeable about a lot of the products. You know, that kind of stuff is going by the wayside. But Ace is still going strong. When hardware stores have died all around, there's still Aces. I've been in a lot of hardware stores. I can tell you, you can't go in one without one of them coming up and say, "Hey, what you looking for today? Can I help you?" That you don't find that. You go to Home Depot and see if somebody comes up and asks you, "What can I help you?"
Well, they're supposed to.
They don't. Go to Lowe's.
But that goes,
You go to Lowe's and here's what they're doing. You look towards somebody in a blue shirt. They do like this. They go, "Oh my God, I almost made eye contact with that customer. He might ask me a question."
well, you have to understand Lowe's versus Ace. Ace is small, usually privately owned
Yep.
distributorship. Lowe's is corporate owned, where they're battling with everybody wanting a lower price because of volume and labor cost that's going up, that they can't get people to come in with knowledge to work. It just,
Bobby, she did it on her own. She volunteered to correct the feedback. I didn't have to ask. She did it herself. I'm assuming it was a lady. It could have been a dude, but whoever that customer did that on their own. So I didn't have. I didn't have to. They did that. Jennifer, I forget. So Jennifer's a good one. Jennifer goes in a lot of small stores. Uh, they, I think Jennifer. I'm gonna have to quit talking to you because you look like a criminal. She's like, I just left this store and they followed me around. I had 37 items in my basket and they followed me around like I was about to make a break for it. And then, so this is the great story. So Jennifer had 5 or 6 different items. One of them was 37 of one item, and then she had a couple of another. These people were so obsessed with following her around that she was going to make a break for the door with all these products that when they rang her up, they didn't ring it up correctly. They gave her a couple of free. They were so focused on, and that's a great lesson. We get so focused on all the wrong things that you can't do the simple things correctly. I'm gonna do a short. These people, but eBay should show my stuff. And never assume that pricing is right. So yesterday I was at a Walgreens and I was looking at their clearance aisle, and they had some dry erase markers on clearance. They were 90% off. They were 45 cents a pack, and I looked them up, and so a couple of them have sold in the last 90 days for $9. So at 90% off, you could make $3 or $4. You can make $3. And so you would think, that's not bad. I can spend 45 cents to make $3, right? Or 90. You had to do a 2-pack, make 90 cents to make $3. They had 6 of them, 6 2-packs there. So while I'm there, I'll pick up a quick $20. 2 have sold in 90 days. There are 35 listings. So if you take the 2, well, so that should be 8's going to sell in the year. I'll just make it a round number and go 10 will sell in the year. If there are 34 listings right now and we're only going to sell 10 for a year, there's 3.5 years of markers on eBay right now. How many people will go the next step to go, oh my God, even though they will sell, there's 3.5 years of supply already listed. I bought 2 packs of markers because they're good to get marker. I need junk dry erase markers to get permanent marker off stuff. And so that's what I bought them for. There was a guy spray painting party, so they shipped. What happened to that guy? It's amazing that we are so quick to point out eBay search, folks. Even if eBay search is not the same and you call it broken, compare it to Amazon search. Go look for something on Amazon and tell me you can find it. I could put the exact model number of something on Amazon. I'll get 1,000 cables and bits and bobs and sponsor listings, and then I'll go, oh, wait a minute, that's what I was looking for. You have to feed through so much BS that you almost forget what you were looking for. eBay is no different than Amazon now. And what does Amazon do? They sell hundreds of times more than eBay. Stuff sells up there. People look for it. They feed through they will look through the search. Amazon has proven that you can put enough crap in front of people that they will filter through the search to find what they want. It might be on the second page. Folks, there are people that teach private label that teach you that if you're on the second page of search, you're winning. I'm not to ask John, I'm not lying. They make lots of money teaching you how to get your private label product to the second page.
Oh yeah. You don't want to be. Listen.
If you're on the first page, people copy it. You want to be on the second page.
When do you want? Where do you want to be in the rank? You want to be number one? Guess what? As soon as you become number one, you have a target on your back.
Mm-hmm.
If you're 1 through 5, you got a target on your back. My favorite spot is number 6. It's a nice steady seller for me, number 6.
Yeah, no, mine are not. Mine are not vintage. Mine are at every Walgreens in America. So, but it's until we fix ourselves, until we don't allow these people to, and how do you do that? You have to at some point we have to shame these people. At some point, it's not good enough to go because if here's the problem when entering a Facebook group of somebody who is wanting to treat a customer that bad, what makes them think that's right to begin with? I see all these people, giving answers, and you'll see the moderators go, "Oh, we've got to be so nice to them. Don't be mean. Don't answer in a negative tone." Somebody needs to deliver a wake up call and tell them, "Listen, you can't treat a customer that way." I didn't see there were 85 responses to this person, and nowhere on there does somebody scold the person and say, "You cannot treat a customer this way. What are you doing?"
Put up flipping sports guys. Last comment. People go
That
to
one?
page 2. Yeah. Here's the difference. You're a buyer. You're going to buy something. That's why you're not going to page 2. There is a large percentage of the population that is shopping, which means they're out there looking. They're not there to buy immediately. They're looking. So they will go through page 2, 3, 4, 5 because they're looking. They're looking at pricing. They're looking at condition. They're looking at a whole lot of stuff. You have to also, when you build a listing, you have to think about that. Your listing needs to be long tail for those people that are shopping. Your advertising needs to be targeted to the person that's actually taking out a credit card to buy. My words are different for my buyers than my shoppers. If you want to sell reading glasses, the keyword is reading glasses for your shopper because they're looking. People that type in reading glasses don't know exactly what they're looking for. If they type in point, what is it? I even forget how reading glasses are. 2.25 black cat eye reading glasses. Those people are buying. There's a big difference between those two people on eBay. And people don't think about that when they build a listing. I'm in this for the long term, guys. I play a very long term game. My game is not 2024. I'm in discussions for 2026, 2027, and beyond. I'm not. I don't care about 2024 and 2025.
See, I'm of the opinion right now. If eBay wants to really do something, they will make a metric in their search algorithm that every time they have to deal with a bad seller, that it knocks them down and knocks them farther and further down search. You want to improve your platform, the seller that can't deliver customer service, the seller that, folks, if I'm buying on eBay, which I'll buy something a couple times a week, if you've got no returns, let me explain this to you in simple terms. I will never buy from you with no returns. Never. If you don't trust, if you can't deliver customer service and do this correctly, if you have returns, the longer the return period, the less returns you get. This is
No,
not. This is simple stuff. This is settled science. It is the way the human mind works. But if I see no returns, I'm next because I see someone who is not going to no returns tells me that person is not good with customer service. They're going to be an issue if anything. I mean, it is just it is a beacon of a flag saying that warning. Crap is about to happen with this person. Crap is about to happen with this person. They, I, that's what we should teach all new sellers. Do no returns. Um, it's Bama Jaybird. Appearance does matter. Why do people not understand that? You send something, you'll never catch me sending something out in a. I used to do it for God's sakes when I sold clothing. Put something in a flat rate envelope where I had to sit on it to seal the damn thing. That is such a negative customer experience. I have a tape machine. I buy new boxes. Amazon demands the customer experience. Why does Amazon? Why do I get more for items on Amazon and eBay? Is it everybody will say, well, it's the Amazon customer, they demand more, so they'll pay more. No, it's Amazon. It's about an overall experience. You want it in a honey bun box, or do you want it in a nice clean box? Looks like it's professionally done. Most of the time, every now and then I'll screw one up. It's a professional looking box coming, or do you want something that looks like it was shipped that a 3-year-old shipped it, and they want to know, well, why do I get the same money as I get on Amazon? It's because we allow the 3-year-olds to ship in just Frosted Flakes boxes, whatever. Philip, you're 100% correct. People love the Amazon experience because it is very dependable and they can count on it. And why is that? Because Amazon has a set of rules in place, and if you screw around, you go away. Josh, that is my 100% thought. They don't have confidence in their product, their processes, their anything, and the easy way out is to go, well, I'm so perfect, I don't have to take it back. Nowhere, nowhere else do they do that. Go,
Amazon,
go buy,
Amazon's perfect.
go buy something in person and see how that works out. You're going to go to pick any store in America, and I could take back a bun this with this much meat and tell Wendy's that there was a hair on it. They will give you your money back and bend over backwards to apologize to you. And all you need is a piece of the hamburger bun that big. I'll pull out one of my beard hairs and stick in it, and they'll give you your money. Even restaurants will take stuff back and do things different. It is just think about the world you live in and what no returns is, and what you're communicating, and how many of these and that's the killer part is these entitled people who think they they are entitled to all this stuff are the ones that are doing no returns. They're entitled for me to bend over backwards to them, but yet they can't perform simple customers. That's why I'm telling you, new sellers, there needs to be a training class they have to go through. You know, eBay should have this quiz at the end, and if you there should be certain ones in there that are really customer service oriented. That if they fail that question, they fail the whole test and they get their IP address blocked from being a seller. I'm not serious about it. Screw up on Amazon and see what they do to you. They've tracked every device you've ever logged in on, every Wi-Fi. They track all that shit. You can other people. You can go buy a new computer. You can get behind it, but even now, Amazon is not allowing you to work behind VPNs. That is a loophole they are closing.
Listen, Amazon's smart. They know what they're doing. They're not going to be a selling platform forever. They are going to be 100% logistics. It's very clear their path. And their logistics are going to be just as strong as their selling platform.
So Josh, I remember that somebody got $400 Uggs in a dog food bag. I don't know who that was. No, flipping sports guy. Unfortunately, a lot of experienced sellers do need retraining. Tactical Z says new sellers should be required to listen to his channel. It's just common sense. I want you to succeed. I want you to all your hopes and dreams that you want for reselling. I want you to reach every goal you got. But how do you reach every goal, folks? It's Zig Ziglar. It's all these people that have made millions and millions of dollars telling you, if you treat people kindly and help people, they will. You will never want a day in your life. That's 100% true in your life. If you are kind in your life and help people to get what they want, you'll be amazed how much that comes back to you. It's the same way in selling things. How you treat customers kindly, you treat them the way you deserve to be treated. It's amazing. Um, Amazon Amazon proves this every day. Do I get mad that they take some of the crazy returns back because they get abused and I get abused? It is frustrating sometimes. But don't miss this. They have built a sales juggernaut because every customer in America knows that they're not going to have a problem if they buy it on Amazon. Amazon has their back. They have a way to be made whole 100%. And that you can't underestimate the amount of sales that drives. You can't you just can't.
Now, listen, Amazon has its flaws too. Yesterday's a perfect example. Warehouse had to shut down 3 inches of ice. I have 9 late shipments, and there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do. I have 9 shipments that went out late, went out a day late because of ice. And you can't, eBay, you could say, oh, you know, it was a carrier thing, it was something, and they would let it give you a grace period. Amazon, I got a red banner on my account for the next 10 days. It says that I'm at risk of suspension over it.
Phil, you're right. If eBay sellers had to live to Amazon seller standards, they'd be gone. They wouldn't make it. That's why I made a video and it kind of made some people mad. Because I sell on Amazon, I'm a better eBay seller than you. Because I understand the standards over there and I take them over to eBay. I you know, I want the customer to have a great buying experience for me. And therefore I see that that's what Amazon generally delivers. Will they every now and then send you something packed crazy? Yes, they will, because they have humans that work for them. But for the vast majority of things that you order, um, they're packaged fine. Could they? It's like John. Do you remember when Chris Green used to? There was an argument over packing, and Chris Green and somebody else decided we'll send a mug back and forth to see how long it takes to break it.
Yeah.
They started out by bubble wrapping it, then they started out by putting it in bigger boxes with nothing in it,
Well,
and it.
they swore that Jason T. Smith's method of shipping a mug was not the proper way
Right.
to ship a mug. And when they tested it, they found out that it's like almost impossible to break this freaking mug it was in a padded flat rate envelope.
You know,
Now he's modified it some with pool noodles. He likes pool noodles now. I don't know if you've seen them, but
I hadn't, but it's how you want to fix eBay. Raise the standards on eBay. If
I
you
have
raise,
I have good sales on eBay. I did not sign into eBay 10 times all of 2023.
I mean, raise the seller standards on eBay. You'll be amazed how much more successful you'll be.
I sold $75,000 worth of stuff last year. I didn't log in 10 times. All my questions got answered. All my packages were shipped. I don't need eBay. I use outside processes, but you can make money on eBay. You know what I'm working on right now? Where my growth is right now is I'm adding on eBay. I'm doubling down on eBay.
No, so Mark, Amazon's not perfect. You're 100% right. There are. It's a. I don't think Amazon cares as much about feedback as we think they do, because there's so many 50, 60, 70% feedback people on Amazon. Um,
Oh,
I generally avoid those folks.
hold on.
Um, but if so, start. So here's my challenge. If you sell on eBay, here's my challenge. You look around at the people that are making videos, and if they show any of their shipping process and that kind of stuff, and how they listen to how they treat people, I can promise you that the people that are treating people like their customers like they're supposed to be, and are taking the time to ship correctly and timely, and following standards that would be just fine on Amazon, are, you know, could they have some issues with sales here or there? They could, but I would challenge you to, they are surviving better than most. I would tell you. And, what is it they, they're not calling eBay every 10 minutes. They are trying to figure out. eBay is trying to put buyers and sellers together, and what sells. You know, they are quick to look and go, maybe part of it's me. You know, so that's how that's in my opinion, the part that we don't talk about a lot is sellers are a part of the problem with eBay. Mark, I
Yeah.
told you that Amazon was going to tell you to get lost. Whenever you sign up and do your thing and sign up and do FBA, it's in the terms of service that they get the final decision on returns. Amazon, in their decision making process on FBA returns, customer damage is not returnable. It's not refundable. It's been like that for years. uh, Not Ron. Yeah, if they could 500 more people, they wouldn't have to listen to people whining and complaining and carrying on. eBay, they are not adjusting, because here's I had ice for 4 or 5 days. I had 3 customers reach out. They need to be adjusting for Houston. What the hell's going on with Houston and shipping? The Houston sort and postal and stuff is a cluster. I had an item go through there and got stuck for 10 days in Houston. It's insane. Um,
Yeah, I got one headed to Florida that's still stuck in Houston. It's been there a week.
North Georgia picker. I'm 100. That's the way I am. I honestly, that's the way I overpack. I over everything. I don't get items broken. Very, very rare. It's very, very rare, because I ship it exactly the way I expect it to come to me. Do I reuse an Amazon box? I'll reuse an Amazon box. There's nothing wrong with, Amazon boxes look very clean. I just put them back together with my paper tape. That's generally the only box I will reuse. I don't, I, and that's what's wrong with that box. That that
That's an Amazon box. I'm reusing it.
Yeah, but I mean, you had to cut it a little bit, but it's still,
Shipping it out.
yeah, that looks fine. I would not be upset to receive that box. And when did when did the golden rule die? The do unto others you had them do unto you. When did that die? If you truly treated your business that way, and judged everything for, is this acceptable to my standards? How much better off would the platform be? How much, all these forums would change if we simply live by that. That if I don't want it done to me, I'm damn sure not gonna do it to somebody else. But it happens everywhere, and it drives me nuts. Uh, um, so Beth is saying she's impacted by that right now. Houston delays. I've seen videos on it where their stuff has been coming in, and it's just they've got trailers and all kinds of mess just stacked up everywhere trying to get it out. Um, it's absolutely a mess. Larry, 100%. And there's and don't get me wrong, there's so many people that do. I know so many kind of people, but it's crazy that the ones that we're raising a generation that is so demanding upon everyone else except themselves. Nobody talks about it. Nobody, that entitled generation, they put so many demands on everybody else and everything else, and they hold themselves to nothing. No responsibility, no nothing. And imagine that as these people start doing things like reselling and creep into business worlds, and this is we got to call it out. And as a generation, we have failed to teach them correctly, and they need to be rebuked until they learn. Um, and yes, I'm ready for football too. I miss college football already. What the hell? We got like 8 months left. What the hell? So I had one, Beth, that I did not get scanned, and it went through Houston, and somehow it got to Houston without being scanned. And the person says, did you send it? And I'm like, yeah, I sent it. And so yesterday, I finally, after, I think I sent. Let's see when I sent that crazy thing. I wonder if it'll actually tell me all the tracking now. Because when Jason looked for it yesterday at the post office, he goes, "Oh man, it got delivered today, but you would not believe how many places it stopped." uh, Orders. It was $150 mini disc player. And I sent a guy a message saying, "Hey man, it arrived yesterday. It's on your porch waiting for you." Again, I am so sorry. I don't know how it made it to you in that long. So here we go. Let's see all tracking history. Uh Somehow it got through. It left Meridian. I shipped it on the 10th, and it took it. It didn't get scanned in until the 22nd in Houston. It was 12 days just to get scanned in, and then once they scanned it in, it was delivered in what 24 hours. But it had a 10-day wait in Houston. Yeah, Miss Mercedes, I do believe this. I blame a lot of this on participation trophies and all this stuff. The problem with so much is people. When do you learn? You learn when you made mistakes. Most people can understand. Um, and what does a mistake cause? A mistake causes corrective action. Most people try to figure out why. Why did this happen? What can I do to make it not happen again? When there's a pain point in your life, it causes corrective action. But imagine this: you're given a participation trophy. Everything's going to be all right. Is it time for Jenny to get another treat?
She thinks so.
At some point, you've given her another treat. Now she's demanding it.
She just had a big old bite of my eggs.
Yeah, Joni gets up this morning. She's like, "Watch, look what Franklin does. Franklin likes honey buns." I'm like, "Okay, Franklin likes honey buns." She puts it in her mouth, and Franklin crawls up there and takes a bite out of her mouth. I'm like, "It's only because you let him. What the hell? You're training Franklin. That's okay." Franklin does that because you allow Franklin to do that. It's the same way with these bad sellers. They continue to be bad sellers because eBay allows them to be bad sellers. Franklin is messing with you because you allow Franklin to do it. uh, so, all right, Trina, what's your question on global shipping? Don, you're 100% quick. It delays a lesson until adults have to deal with them, and it's can we please allow? I understand we want to protect our children and all that kind of stuff. And don't get me wrong, I've made plenty of mistakes. There's a 25-year-old in there asleep doing nothing. I get it. I just as bad as the rest of them, and it's hard. I still have yet to figure that one out. Uh,
He needs a woman to straighten him out.
like he's ever going to speak to one. He's so shy. He's ever going to speak to one.
Is that right?
I have to find him one at a yard sale.
There's plenty there. Just ask Harlan. May not be what you're looking for, but
That 25-year-old is in this chat. What? Not my 25-year-old. I'd be shocked if he's awake. And it's crazy. She says none of their own homes are too costly. Go back and look. If you look at pictures from the 50s, folks, if you want to understand why we are where we are, you could work at a Ford plant in wherever, somewhere in Michigan, and that one job would allow mom to stay at home and raise families, buy a house and vehicles, a nice living on one factory job. Good luck. Good luck affording a single wide trailer next to the river or a van down by the river or whatever it is with one person. I mean, we can talk about why these things have happened, but it's by design. It's absolutely by design. They wanted control of your children, and so they forced mom and dad to both go to work. So now the schools indoctrinate your children. Remember, they attack the family to get to your children, so they can control you from grave to from hospital to grave. So, Harlan, you're saying we should just drag Jacob with us, and they'll attack him there? Last night, someone had not heard Harlan's story about the lady who sold him leather jackets last year or the year before, whatever it was, and so he was reliving his glory days. Back when he used to be a pimp. He's not a pimp anymore. He's off the market, but um, she wants to know, is Glenville a new global shipping hub? I think they have a. I don't know exactly what Glenville's. Maybe somebody can answer. But I know they are different places you have to send it because a different company is doing that now. Has anybody? So Trina's asking, is anybody for eBay's global shipping program? Have you sent anything to Glenville? I turned all that off, so I don't. Nothing I sell they want to go. I think you missed the original. You're talking about global shipping.
my international
Mail
sales have
inspection at International Hub in Glenville. I missed that part of it.
my international sales have slowed way down the last 6 months.
Trina, I have no. Does anybody know what happened? Has anybody had a package fail inspection through global shipping? That's crazy. No, Vintage Memories, her item failed inspection. Okay, so that one actually might be one you need to, open chat and ask eBay a specific question, because that one is so odd. I've never even heard of it.
I sold a
Yeah,
knife to a guy in Scotland, and it got confiscated. They let me and the buyer both keep our money.
Yeah, so Tamara's got a great point. Says that what was the item? Certain countries you can't sell certain things. a lot of military memorabilia can't go to certain countries. Some of them are crazy, like Brazil won't allow used electronics. There's countries have such crazy.
Yeah,
Yes, I turned it off last April too.
you can't send that to Ireland, but you can send them kitchen knives.
But that was mean and scary looking.
Yeah, United States
J,
government issue.
JR, you missed all the fun. But there's so many people out there that are so scared of I'm beyond caring about YouTube. So there's so many people that won't tell you the things. That's what I try to do with this Wednesday show is I'll talk about topics people won't talk about. I'll tell you the honest truth, what I really think and my experiences. Because if negative things happen to me ordering on eBay, I was watching a YouTuber do unpackage something they were buying. They were buying items from Macari or something, and they were testing Macari items or something. And it was a small box. It was I had a poly bag, and when they cut it open, no, it wasn't that. It was who's the cell phone people that you can buy use cell phones from? Somebody in the chat, tell me the used cell phone company that you can buy used cell phones from. They had bought a used cell phone because they wanted to um they were testing. They bought an iPhone 13 Pro Max, and they were wanting to see how well the cell phone. Jacob King, are you in the chat? You've tried to get me to buy one, or you've told me about them. I might have to Google this. Used cell phones.
On eBay.
Not on eBay. This wasn't on eBay. It was like Swappa or one of those. Um, and they had it came in a when they cut the poly bag open, it was in a priority box. I'm like, it's just how many people. I mean, is it just common that we are so awful on following any kind of rules that it's just insane the abuse of things and the way things happen.
It's the entitlement mentality. It's what they have going on in places like um, my wife's running around in her pajamas, so I turn the camera off. It's places like Venezuela and places like that where socialism took over, and there are no rules. And look at their society, and that's what we're headed for if we don't start.
There's
If you start policing your own.
James the James W. The rule is you must pay priority. You pay priority. Why are you telling us this? You follow the rules, dude. If you're going to
No,
use priority packaging, you got to pay priority. You pay priority. You're fine. Um, it's yeah, Paul. Your listings disappeared because they turned off your server. You wait a couple hours, they'll turn your server back on. I wonder if that guy got eBay got laid off. The guy who sits there with the switches and turns servers on and off again. You think he got laid off?
and the door color. Don't forget the door color. What color
The
is
guy
my
who
door?
the guy
What
who
color
changes
is my door during all this nonsense?
the guy who changes the door color probably got laid off. The guy who turns on and off servers, he's getting the axe today. Um, any other popular people at eBay that need to be let go that we can hope they're on the list?
How about cutting the CEO's pay and just pay our listing fees with his money?
I mean, don't get me wrong. In all this, I'm not saying that the whole thing wrong with eBay is sellers, because for God's sakes, eBay was just convicted in criminal court for stalking. I mean, they've got plenty of problems on their side that they can clean their own house up. But you know, we are, as YouTubers, you hear so many of them, talking about eBay's not doing enough to keep buyers on the platform. They're not advertising. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. I would tell you the opposite. eBay's not doing enough to run bad sellers off. If you run bad sellers off, you can keep buyers. If you hold bad sellers to a higher standard, you can keep buyers.
Serious question. Nicolette asks, serious question for you all. How much effect will the outcome of the November election have on resellers all platforms?
I don't think you can. I don't think you can say it's reselling. I think it's economy wide. It's going to be the usual. If you take one way, if you take you take the side that's restrict, wants to put more regulations on everything, or do you want the one that's going to walk in and wipe the regulations away just like they did the last time? The key to, for all of Bad Man Orange and everything, what everybody says, the only thing he did was remove regulations. He removed regulations and business flourishes.
And a huge tax cut.
Yeah, what puts the brakes on business and the economy? Regulation, and having to spend more money to actually prepare to sell, prepare to bring a product to market, all these things, to support another government job and another government agency, which are unconstitutional to begin with.
Right, Sadie.
Tom, I know Tommy and Harlan. Everybody that's saying none, you are 100% dead wrong.
I don't
look at 16 to 20 versus 20 to 24.
Will change. I don't know that the outcome of the election will change the amount of sales on a platform. If it's a lame duck presidency, which in my mind is you put in a Democratic president and both houses are Republican. You put in a Republican president and both houses are Democrat. You basically don't get any movement whatsoever. And it's going to be up to the Fed and other people to regulate what happens in the economy. If you have policy changes, then it will affect the platform one way or another, depending on what side wins and how much they're able to change is what's going to affect the outcome of what sells on the platform. I don't think any particular party will have, and I think that's part of what we're seeing right now is that because it's so unknown and unclear, you have this kind of juggling act of what's going on in the economy. You got you got inflation that's running rampant. I don't care who you are. You got to see in your own house, you got to see the inflation. Whether you want to believe that there's no inflation or inflation is much lower than what it really is, or whatever you believe, that's on you. But in the end, the stock market is up. It just doesn't make financial sense. It doesn't make economical sense, but yet it's happening. So it really, there's a lot more that's going to factor into this over who's going to be the president. I really do believe that.
But the problem with saying none right now is the last three presidents have all done the same thing. They have wielded the power of executive actions, which we didn't see in the past. And so that's why my answer is, one is going to go one way, one is going to stay where we are, which is terrible. Is because the last three presidents, Obama started it, and Trump did very well, and then the people that control Biden, because they can't speak. You can't tell me he's the one and the mastermind behind all of this. So you're just continuing the next Obama presidency. Anyway, that's another conversation. But they have wielded executive action and executive with the force of law. I mean, what's the first thing they did when in 2021? They killed the pipeline and everything else, and your gas prices went through the roof within the first 6 months.
Yeah, but look how far they came down so far.
What's the first thing that Trump would do? He would reinstate that and get that done before the end of his presidency. That pipeline would be finished before the end of his presidency. And so that would have a significant folks. They want you to believe that we don't have, oil is so scarce. They've been talking about this my entire life that we're going to run out of oil, and they have found more oil in the U.S. than anywhere else in the world. All we got to do is get it. But now what are they doing? It's going to kill the three sloth squirrel frog thing. We can't do that. It's so bad for the environment. Let's pay 4-year-olds to go dig out lithium for us because oil is so bad. Let's kill other people's children because we don't want to go get our own oil. For God's sakes. So executive orders are the reason why I tell you the president matters right now. If you eliminated executive orders, I'd agree with you 100%. It wouldn't matter one way or the other. But because of executive orders and the damage that has done, either one way or the other, skipping Congress, skipping everything, just making with the effect of, and it shouldn't be that way because remember, the legislature should be the one making laws, not the executive branch. There should be a separation of powers, and I don't agree with executive orders. I think that it's how can the Constitution support separation of powers and then allow one party to take the power? I mean, one part of government to take the powers of the other part. It should. But the executive. Biden is firing on Iran and trying to get us in a war with Iran. You can't declare a war. The president cannot declare war on a country. It must come from Congress. Congress declares war. What Biden has done is very unconstitutional. And I would tell you about that, any president. I think a lot of the stuff Bush did was very unconstitutional. It's not a party thing for me. It is what does the Constitution allow? And so as long as they're going to allow executive orders to have the force of law to change the way things are done, the presidency matters tremendously right now. Just a fact. There's a reason why Biden signed hundreds of these things first day in office.
I think politics is going to play into it, into the economy, but I don't know how much.
But I agree with you 100%. The Fed and the Fed raised the loan interest rate has a tremendous. I think by the end of the year, the housing market is going to go crazy because the Fed is going to be forced to take 4 to 5 interest rate cuts, and the housing market, we have not built enough houses for demand, and so the price of houses by the end of the year is going to skyrocket. It's going to push inflation because the interest rate is the hedge against inflation, and as you lower the interest rate, inflation is going to go up. It's Scott, don't hit me with history. I know you're a closet Democrat. You live in Chicago. You're a closet Democrat. I mean, we hadn't even gotten. What's wrong with eBay? We hadn't even got the competition. If you want to look at attention and where dollars are going, oh my God, Temu is the death of 1,000 cuts. How many competitors can eBay take? Amazon's big enough. They screw it. They can absorb whatever. eBay doesn't have that same size.
Amazon doesn't want to be I'm telling you, Amazon doesn't want to be in the selling business.
They're going to be a massive distribution company.
They're going to be logistics. They're going to get a.
Yeah.
They're already setting up. They have the software VQ. They're pushing the FCM. They're opening warehouse space for containers coming in from China of product that can be a year or 2 year supply. They don't care, and they're building to be a logistics company. And if you look at the writing on the wall, it is very clear. And you're going to have these other platforms fighting it out to be the sales go to.
So, Industrial Crow, I agree to some point. He says that Temu can be an eBay seller. So, if you're smart enough to buy from Temu and are looking to do wholesale, you can get it on Alibaba much cheaper. So I see you can buy some stuff on, but that's the expensive way to go. If you're looking for that kind of stuff, Alibaba is the way to go.
I think the other problem is we've gone from a 3-class system to a 2-class system. We've gone from a poor, middle, upper to have or have not.
Correct.
We have destroyed the middle, and inflation did that. And every time we get into these areas, you destroy more of the middle. And most of the middle went to the poor side. They sold out their houses, took the profit, and now they're living in rentals. They're living differently to get by. They're not accumulating. Go find a middle class home housing right now.
Okay, so it might be controversial, but I think I'm gonna add what's his name book to my read list.
Mine?
No.
Whose?
Mr. Book of the Devil. What's his name? Klaus.
A crazy German.
Mm-hmm.
God dang.
The Great Reset.
Let him
Folks, if you don't understand, where the powers that be and the powers that the haves want to take you, look around right now. I live in Huntsville, Alabama. We have a 30% growth rate. We've had this for over a decade. What are they building right now? Are they building single family homes? Remember, home ownership. They've told you they want home ownership to be a thing of the past. They want you to rent and own nothing and be happy. They are building apartments by the thousands. These apartments around here are going up. You drive somewhere and you go, holy crap, I didn't realize they were building apartments there. They're building them on both sides of the parkways here. There's apartments going up all over this place. It's absolutely amazing. You will rent and own nothing. Trina, that's the way. Oh, that's loud. So that and I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, the left or the right. You need to understand where the people that control things want to take this. How do you take advantage of some opportunities presented you? You need to understand where things are headed towards. Diane says she heard a whisper that eBay is being merged or sold.
Who wants them?
They're definitely being sold. I can buy it any day of the week. It's publicly traded.
Publicly traded company. Yeah. Michigan girl, it's amazing down here. When you look around the apartments that are just absolutely everywhere, it is insane the number of apartments that are going up, and they're not cheap apartments either. we're talking $2,000, $2,500 a piece for apartments. But they're not building. You know, they are paying more for apartment rent than I pay for a mortgage. It's insane.
Even Tom's talking about tearing down his $300,000 home and building a triplex in its place, so he can move out in the country.
Well, there is that.
That's probably pretty smart, but
When is enough enough? You got to think about the guy laying on the beach in Mexico fishing, and the American comes up and says, "Oh man, what you need to do is build this huge fishing fleet and do all this, and so that you can lay on the beach in Mexico and fish." I mean, when is enough enough? When do you get to a point that you're happy with what you have? This constant got to have more than the next guy is. And listen, I'm guilty. I'm probably more guilty than anybody in here of what I've built. But look at what I got to do now to maintain it. $300,000 home. How about a $200,000 home? How about something people can afford, like $150,000?
It doesn't exist.
They don't exist. I'm in the middle of the freaking desert and they don't exist.
Mm.
What sells here are 20 and 30-year-old trailers.
It was by design. And that's why I say that I need to add. I've never read The Great Reset. I just, from what I've heard, I want to actually read this, or at least listen to this book to understand. This is they wrote a book to tell you what they were going to do. You need to understand. Even if you're with them, you need to understand.
So did Hitler. Hitler wrote a book and told you exactly step by step what he was going to do.
Yeah, Mein Camp or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Interesting read. Very interesting read, that book.
If you ever see it, it's worth a lot of money now.
I had a German copy of it in German from when I was over there.
Bama Jaybird, it's because they have sold. The American dream has been killed and been sold. It's they have created a entire group of. Look at the generation behind us. They don't value property. They don't value things. They value experiences, and they've been sold the experiences. You should experience life. You should not own anything. That's not. It's not important what you have in life. It's important what you do in life. It's a philosophical change.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as basic things are provided for by being affordable, meaning you need these $1,000. You don't need to build these luxury apartments. You need decent housing. Lori and I don't need a 4-bedroom apartment or a 3-bedroom apartment. It's Lori and I. We need a small 1-bedroom, easy to maintain housing, which is not out there. If you go out and look, everything is massive. Most of my friends live in 4-bedroom houses, 4-bedroom, 3-bath houses. And they're grandparents. Some of them are great grandparents. Most of them are on the verge of dying.
But it's a huge change, philosophical change, and that's what's driving everything.
But it's also part of, but everything's changing.
Yeah.
The job market's changing. AI is taking all the jobs. Well, when I got out of high school, computers were going to take over the frickin' world. And guess what? Here we are 40 years later, and computers still don't run the world. Although data will be the new currency.
Hey, I can't.
In my lifetime, but data will be the new currency.
I can't call you out, Harlan. you can just be one to experience things when your new girl has her own house. There you go, right there. We see how you are. You're just arguing with us.
Oh, did he finally put a ring on that thing?
He ain't put a ring on it now.
Huh?
No, he has not put a ring on it.
We all should start whispering in her ear about all the stuff we know about Harlan. I wonder if she's seen that video from the Fremont Street experience.
We told her about it, so she don't care. You got to understand that so many people out there are so emotionally and everything deranged. Harlan is so freaking normal. He is so odd that she has found a normal good guy. She ain't letting him go.
Just lock her up on frickin' election day. She may vote on the wrong side.
Harlan is talking about they've only been dating 4 or 5 months. It seems like 4 or 5 years.
We only been dating 4 or 5 months. So what the hell is the holdup?
James, there's no.
That Harley, we knew each other less than a year ago.
Did we show her his picture in frickin' Dave Ramsey's book?
No, but I got that on my phone. I can do that anytime.
That's something you should bring up at the wedding.
Jennifer, and I don't say it to this. I didn't say it to come across this show lightly and to talk about new stuff, but somebody's got to be the one to say, there's a responsibility to this platform. I want to continue to sell on eBay and Amazon. I don't worry about Amazon. I worry about the treatment of customers on eBay because it's so prevalent that so many people just don't get. It's simple to be nice and treat people. So Harlan, we don't want you to be normally. Okay, never mind. Harlan is not normal. He's a freak. Big giant loser. He's a freak. Is that better, Harlan?
Pimping a purple hat. He'd be pimping in a purple hat.
Well, y'all are definitely not going to see Harlan for the last 15 minutes of the show like he pops on because we're killing him. But I think we because eBay is not taking it serious enough, and we contact and we have dealings with lots of people through Facebook groups and social media, that somebody has to draw the line and say there's a standard for selling on eBay, and you've got to treat people. You've got to treat people with kindness. You've got to treat people as you would. The stuff that mom and daddy didn't. Okay, so listen. They broke up the family. There is no mom and daddy. So if you're raised by a mom or a daddy who was at work trying to support you, and you're raised by a school system that doesn't give two fucks about you, other than your sexual orientation and all that identity craziness, they forgot to tell you to be a nice human and teach you that you treat others with kindness and you're a nice human. They forgot all that. So it's our responsibility as sellers to say, listen, you're not running off my customers. I enjoy selling on eBay, and the general public, for the most part, are generally made up of. We see the outliers; they are generally good people just trying to get by, like you and me are. Treat them with kindness, and you want them to come back. Treat them correctly. Do the right thing by people, and you'll be amazed how successful you are in business. Because you will stand out as so odd now. You'll be like Harlan in the dating scene. You'll be so odd that if you treat people the right way and with kindness, you'll be tripping over yourself. You'll be successful. That's why Harlan's had to carry a big stick around wherever he went, just to beat the women off. Pow, pow. He's got them attacking him at yard sales, for God's sake. I was a witness to her rubbing her ass up and down his leg on a damn yard sale trying to buy a leather jacket. I watched that.
We should have been able to watch it. It should have been on video.
I'm telling you, so Harlan, we talked about it last night. I'm like, I'm going to wear the camera from beginning to end next year because all the funny and good shit happens at the end of the yard sale day.
But you know, we
Trina,
live in
somebody's got to be the voice of reason. Somebody's got to be the voice of reason. You
we
know,
live in a
why don't we
different
stop treating people so
society.
bad?
We live in a different society. Yes, you need to treat people the way you want to be treated, but you also have to accept people for who they are. And one of the things that I struggle with on eBay is you guys saying, "Well, they stole $1,000 from me." No, they didn't. They sent you back a used item that you paid $3 for. They got you for $10 or $20. It you got to start letting that stuff go. You can't what what the thieving people have done, what these lawless people have done is made it uniform that that's how we treat everybody. Everybody's going to be a thief. Everybody's out to get me. Well, not everybody's out to get you. There are people out there, and you gotta let it roll off your back, man. If you're going to be in business for any length of time, you got to let it roll off your back. Theft is going to happen. They know how to rob in California. They go in, they take $899 worth of stuff because they're not prosecuted for 900 or less. You know, theft's going to happen. They work the system. I have a daughter that works the freaking system. You know, she knows how to get over on everybody. Does that mean everybody's getting over on everybody? No. The housing thing kind of scares me because we're in an RV and we can't buy a house. We can't buy a house if we wanted to. We couldn't live where we were living. That's why we sold. But it's a struggle for us to go buy a house. If we buy a house, that's what our life will be, is a house.
9:30. All right. Blood pressure medicine killed me. Hey, Todd, you're going to talk for like a minute and a half.
Why? Go do what you got to do. I can handle it. I can talk for a minute and a half.
Damn hoser.
We ought to kick his ass out. He should have given us freaking control of the room. I'd have kicked his ass to the curb. But
I don't see any disagreement much in the side chat over.
Well, that's because all the people that hate us freaking left already.
Getting rid of bad sellers.
I'm not ready. Listen, if Lori and I were ready, we'd go buy a house. We're not ready. I could talk for a day and a half. Yes, I can. I mean, but I try to dumb it down. I shouldn't say dumb it down. That's not fair. It's not the right word. But I try to bring it down to the level of the people around me. I'm on a much different level and a much different mission in my life, and I realized that from talking to people. And I try to give value here, and I do try and bring something for people that want to listen. And sometimes I wonder why I do it. Because I feel like nobody gets value from what I say because my business is so much different than reselling.
I got a question.
Sure, Todd, you understand that. You've been around a long time.
Long time.
You were around before they had silver.
I dug up the first one. So what's the plan for going after bad sellers? What can us sellers do to get rid of those? Can we
do like Harlan did?
If we can find a bad seller, we just go into eBay and report a buyer or report a seller.
I mean, you can.
For bad practices.
You can. What I found over time was, if you roll through my feedback, I have a 2-day shipping policy. eBay, frickin' every time I meet with eBay, they say, "Oh, I wish you'd do a 1-day shipping. You'd sell so much more." In all honesty, you have to find your nook, your niche, and do the best you can. Listen, I'm not the nicest person in the world to the customers. I don't kiss their ass. I will tell them they're wrong. I will tell them I'm not refunding them if they did something wrong, or if they made a mistake, I will call them out for it. But I'm fair. If I screwed up, I fix it. No matter what it takes, I will fix it. I don't care what it costs. I will fix it.
Right. I
You
think most
have
of
to
us would.
build your reputation and forget about trying to fix the world. You're not going to fix the world. Deal in your little corner of the world. The people you deal with, give them the best possible service.
But what's the plan?
What, to fix
Is
it?
it? Has it just got to go through eBay? Is eBay got to realize that they've got bad sellers and them fix it, or is there something we can do? Is there something resellers can do to grab the bad sellers and say, shh,
I think they're
shh,
aware of it because they wouldn't be putting the policies in place to hold the out of country sellers to this market to a standard. You know, for as much as that's coming, I think they're using that as a test. I think that's coming. They know they've got a problem with bad sellers, and so Clark says, you know, you can't bring back the negative. That was
no.
because that was just used as a weapon. You know, you can't give bad sellers ammunition against customers. That's what it was. It was used for retaliation. It was terrible.
So what could we do? We could like all gang up and buy something from a bad seller, and then all of us give them a negative. Uh, hmm.
I like Mr. Sadie's answer.
I like fishing and pickings better.
Yeah, you can do that too, but you got to worry,
Yeah, but
Todd. In all honesty, it's what you can control. I understand what you're saying. What can we do to police the problem?
yeah, I'm just saying we all know there's
eBay,
a problem
eBay's
there.
aware of bad sellers. I promise you, eBay is aware that they have bad sellers.
I'm asking how can we help to get rid of them?
You're not until they change their policies. You're not going to change the platform.
But it's gonna take more voices. It's gonna take a crescendo of voices to.
But not from the sellers.
Just get more
No,
of the YouTube influencers and to pound on it
I
or
think it's
something.
gonna take everyone. It's gonna take buyers and sellers. It's gonna take both until they take it seriously. It's gonna have to come because remember eBay's in the middle. It's gonna have to be both sides screaming. You know,
Yep.
do something about these idiots.
Just sellers saying it's not going to do anything. You got to get the buyers to speak up too. But the buyers are speaking up, and what they're doing is they're going to Etsy and they're going to Temu
Right.
and they're going to Amazon and they're going to other platforms where they don't have to deal with the nonsense as much.
I think they can make some simple changes. I mean, this is not difficult. A lot of it's education. You know, you could you could put simple education in place and policies that you're just not going to put up with this anymore. You know, they could easily change it where the no returns goes away. They could eat. Oh,
Yes.
but that's going to kill Amazon, folks. If you want to sell on Amazon, which sells many billions more than eBay ever thought of, you know, you've got to do a minimum free returns for 30 days. That is your return policy. Your minimum return policy on Amazon as an Amazon seller is free returns 30 days.
Except for grocery.
And some hazmat they won't let you return. There's a few exceptions, but very few.
And there are legal reasons why they're no
The
return.
grocery, yeah, for grocery you can't. I don't think there's some medicine you can't return either. There's some over the counter stuff. But
Kent Angle says the same way you fix speeders won't happen. And he's kind of right.
But you can do something to repair your eBay needs to repair their image, and they can. You might not be able to get rid of all of them, but you can substantially reduce it and make it punitive to where people will not do that.
But there's also a point of good enough.
Right. And that,
You know, in the Bible it says don't become a slave to money, the love of money. It's the love of an item. If at some point, these companies go, okay, does it really matter? We're on a death spiral. Jeff Bezos has written several times that his job as CEO of Amazon, now that he stepped down, but this is when he was CEO of Amazon, said Amazon will go belly up. It will eventually die.
I think
His
it'll
job,
change. I don't know that it goes belly up, but it'll change so drastically it won't be what it is today.
he said his job is to prolong that death as long as possible. As CEO, his job is to prolong that death as long as possible. eBay may feel that they're in a Sears situation right now, and they're going to patch what they can and grab onto golden parachutes. You don't know what's going on in the boardroom here, guys. That's why you should be diversifying across other platforms, or at least understanding other platforms if you're not diversified off of eBay. I know of a guy that sells T-shirts, and he is stuck on eBay. And he's a very smart man, but he just doesn't see the need to go anywhere else. But his sales drop every freaking week, and he cries about it. I want to get his address and send him a crying tale.
So Kent makes a great point. He says authentication, they fix that issue. There are issues they can fix. I think eBay, the biggest problem with eBay is the barrier to entry is so low. If you just raise that up a little bit, you eliminate some of the riffraff. You know, it'll be easy. You require new boxes. You know, like they're saying in the chat, you can require, you know, training before you start. I mean, you could do certain little things, and then and so say your first 6 months, if stuff that you go through training, if you break any of these, I mean, you can scare a lot of people off by getting rid of no returns. A lot of the people that are cause the biggest problems are these no return sellers. You eliminate a lot of this craziness. You know, you have control over. You can see IPs. You're for God's sakes, if you're having problems with people from other countries selling on here, you know, control the IPs.
Maybe they should like control the money laundering going on eBay for the bad image.
No, Black Diamond. I'm gonna get rich when I find my next Black Diamond VHS.
You know, somebody was showing something recently that was $20,000 it sold. You know, when you allow that kind of stuff on your platform, and these are decisions eBay has to make. We can discuss them, but they own the company. They own the rights to make the decisions, not us.
So, Mr. Sadie, there's another. You accept more of an Amazon payment. You know, how do you get rid of some of these people? You quit with these daily payouts. You know, you are supporting. You know, there's nothing wrong with the weekly payouts. You know, force people to start treating and budgeting and doing the things that businesses do. You know, you can make simple tweaks here or there to really eliminate some riffraff. I mean,
what eBay needs is a time machine.
You're not going to take away opportunity because people that are serious about this, you know, none of the things that I'm talking about are deal breakers. You can get clean boxes. You can do all the things you can raise the standards without making it it's super difficult to comply.
The part of the problem is eBay needs a time machine. They were the number one platform for so long that they got complacent, which made it very easy for Amazon to come in with the new mentality of customer first, no more theft, no more of this, you know, buy what you thought was a new product and get a freaking thing that's about to fall apart.
I mean, I've been selling on Amazon since 2013, and and get this, I have not had one daily payment, not one, since 2013. I'm still here.
Oh, we used to give. See, now we didn't have. You got to understand. I've been doing this so long that we took well hidden cash My first eBay conference was with PayPal as a sponsor because it
Yeah,
was a
I never had
little
the option.
unknown company. We took
I,
cash.
so, Mr. Sadie, you're correct too. They also their problem. There is a problem. They have a problem on the buyer side as well, but that's every platform. You know, they um, it's a harder issue because with the buyers, sellers you can hold to a standard. Buyers are I mean, you can do things, but it is tougher.
The problem is it's a flea market. It's run like a flea market. Here's your space. Pay me my rent. Do what you want. Think of it that way. When you go to a flea market to sell, what do? You get your space and you rent it, and you pay your rent and you do what you want in your booth. You can't sell, here, at a flea market they sell guns, but most places you can't buy a revolver or ammunition, or because it's illegal to sell that kind of things. But as long as you're within the law,
What do you mean most places? I live in the deep south. You can sell whatever you want. Our flea market still have guns.
oh, do they? Well, here we don't sell guns at the flea market. We just set up a shop on the side of the road. Ammo sale. You'll see a truck pull up and a white table come out of the back of the truck, and on the end of the table will have a sign, ammo sale.
And Nicolette, I don't even have the option on Amazon. Jeff Bezos went in front of Congress and said that they were going to make that happen. To this day, I don't have that ability
What's that?
to do a daily payout on Amazon.
What is it on Amazon? A week, a month?
2 weeks.
2
I have
weeks?
to wait 2 weeks.
It depends on when you got your account.
I have a 2,000. Okay, so I'm not complaining because I'm not trading you. I don't have reserves either.
But if
So
you
last
run a good business, it shouldn't matter when you get paid.
so Tuesday night
It's
was
going to be the same amount.
mine ends on Tuesday night. So last night at 8 o'clock, I got an email saying, good news, you're Amazon seller. Your payment's on the way. They emptied my complete account. I have no reserve, no nothing. Everything in my balance. So I'd much rather get it all than deal with the reserves, and because people that have daily payouts, they don't get it all. They only get lessening amounts of smaller and smaller and smaller. So I'd much rather.
I get every 2 weeks, and I get some big checks. So that's why some people need daily payouts, Todd. Get cash flow early on for a bigger seller, it can be difficult.
So it's more advantageous to large sellers to get faster payouts.
It flattens the cash flow cycle. Instead of an oval, it goes back to more of a circle. And I don't know that I would need, even if I had daily payouts, I'd probably take it. And now I've adjusted my business to getting paid every 2 weeks. eBay makes me take money every week. Drives me insane. Drives my accountant insane too. But there was a time when if I could gotten paid every week what they owed me, it would have helped my business drastically to grow. To give you an idea, at the end of October, I had $500,000 in paid inventory. That's not easy to do. That's not easy to maintain or manage those levels getting paid every 2 weeks. It takes a lot of cash to be able to operate on that scale. Night Nurse says cash flow is king, and it's absolutely true.
So it still seems like we're talking about what eBay needs to fix to get rid of bad sellers.
And it's more than that. eBay has a lot of. Listen, eBay is a business. We, as business owners, decide to do business with that business. We either need to make adjustments to work with their business the way it is, or we need to find another place to do business. It really comes down to that. We could sit here and say eBay needs to do this, this, and this. In all honesty, I've never seen one of these videos where at the end eBay goes, "Oh, let me make a change." They don't. You have to make the changes to be able to do business on their platform. So what can you do? You can, if you want to take the time and have the time to turn in bad sellers, turn them in. The more they are aware of it, the better it is. But the other thing you can do is treat your customers with 100% white glove service. You know, how do you
Oh,
package stuff? How do you do things?
totally
That
agree.
will, by giving by people giving you the good feedback, your business will grow. If you look through my feedback, I have 2 day shipping time, and I say that it's going to arrive in 9 days. So it takes 10 days to get my product from eBay. I have the slowest shipping there is on eBay possible. If you look through my feedback, it says fast shipping, fast shipping, fast shipping, fast shipping, fast shipping. Because I ship the same day a lot of times. I just have that 2 day window for things that happen like Monday. 3 inches of ice at the warehouse. We close the warehouse, and it gives me a day of lead time to get that shipment out without having to contact every person
Right.
I sold to.
I do the same thing for garage sale weekends. I'm out of here Fridays and Saturdays a lot of times, so 2 days shipping. If somebody
So,
buys something on Thursday, I can ship it Monday.
but by doing those little things, believe it or not, it does have an effect on your business. I remember selling a product on eBay, and I had a whole story in the listing about me and why I was selling it and what I'd done. And I would have people write to me saying, "I read your story and it's amazing what you're doing. Thank you for selling this product." So it does get out there. It takes time. I mean, I've been doing this for 17 years, and I'm all over the internet. People,
Yeah.
Well,
somebody today said, I was in one of your old chats. I meant to Scott, I think his name was. No,
yeah.
Larry.
So I'm sitting here trying to figure. The difference with eBay and Amazon too is why people sell on the platforms, and so you don't find a hobby seller on Amazon a lot.
No.
Whereas you'll find where eBay, somebody has the ability to, I've got a few things for the house I want to sell. You have that ability, and that's where the difficulty eBay has in setting a set of standards, because they have so many people that sell a few items here, a few items there. It's not, and so it's not treated as a business. So where Clark says, as a banker, fast payouts is a key to financing your inventory. There's so many people on eBay that don't look at it that way, because they're just selling a few things here, a few things there, or they're part time, or they're hobbyists, or they're whatever. And I would counter Clark that you said that as a banker, but we just went through profit first. And if as a business owner, and that's the difference with an eBay and Amazon, is you've got to raise the level of the seller up, so that you're running a business. You're allocating your money the way it should be. Then you don't have to have daily payouts. If you've got your account set up, and you've got a buying account and an income, all your accounts, and you're paying your bills, you lessen the need for a payment every single day.
Mr. Sadie points out something very many people don't see. eBay's closest competitor is Facebook Marketplace.
I think he's right.
So do I. Because it's a flea market.
And that's the next place you can go without a lot of anything and sell something. It used to be Craigslist, and Craigslist is still around, but Facebook Marketplace is much larger.
Oh, we found Princess on Craigslist.
Craigslist is a place for prostitution now.
It's how is it that you went there so fast? What the hell?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I'm 90 minutes from Vegas. They don't walk the streets anymore, dude. They sit at home and scroll through their messages. And what the other thing people have to understand is these people are not looking, these bad sellers may not be as bad as you think. They may just be single moms trying to get by selling a couple of items. They're not trying to run a business. They're trying to make a couple of bucks to feed their kids.
Like Robin sells his old baby clothes.
Our daughter sells the old baby clothes on Facebook Marketplace. It's that type of person that you're saying is a bad seller. It's should there be a difference? Yes, I do agree that they need to have it more of a business mentality and leave Facebook.
I don't think a small seller's a bad seller. That person is it's all about how you treat the customer. It's not just because a seller has a different business model than I do doesn't make them a bad seller. It's because you can have any business model you want. It's about treating the customer correctly.
Yeah, but when they send it in a cereal box, it's because they can't afford a box.
They can go to a damn dumpster and get a box. There's plenty of people out there.
They may not know. They may not know that. Listen, when I started on eBay, there was no education. There was no Facebook group. There was no nothing. You figured it out on your own. When I met Jason T. Smith the first time, and he told me he sold used underwear, women's underwear, I laughed. I was like, who the frick would buy that?
A lot of people.
And he had me he gave me a link to a video, and I watched an hour-long video about buying stuff at Goodwill and putting it on eBay. And I learned something. These people don't know that they can go in a dumpster and get a cardboard box. You didn't know it until somebody told you. I mean, it wasn't like, it's not something that's taught in school. I'm not defending bad sellers. What I'm saying is there's a lack of education.
I ran restaurants for 25 years. You know how many boxes I put in dumpsters? Everybody had to tell me where the boxes are. You should see, we moved from when we moved from Alabama to Georgia. I went from a general manager, training manager, Taco Bell to a district manager. My entire house we packed up an entire house in Taco Bell boxes.
Now, James is agreeing with Robert. I don't see Robert's comment. Most of the hobby sellers are the problem. They ship bad and don't describe items right. I do believe that.
There's not a standard. If they I don't have any problem with those sellers. If they had some education, I think eBay responsibility. Amazon doesn't do this because they don't have that problem. They don't have the hobbyists. But if you could educate and force the education on people and force standards, you would raise the platform significantly.
And understand something. There are bad sellers on Amazon.
No, there are 100% bad. I mean,
criminals are criminals. You know, the people that sell on eBay and don't send the product and collect all the money and then do it again on a different account, they do it on Amazon. Amazon's a little better at catching them, but it does happen.
But the fly-by-nights are still there. How many things do these Amazon sellers sell and don't ship out before they are kicked off?
So it really is about, you have to do what's best for you. I don't have time to report bad sellers. You want to be a bad seller, be a bad seller. I'm not going to mess with you. John, you open a... No, I did not open it. Lag, I unblocked you. I don't know why. I guess because Philly got crushed. Did I open a Temu seller account? No, I have no desire to grow, guys. My growth, I just had a big meeting about this Monday or Tuesday. I was in a bad car accident at the beginning of the month. It threw my whole year into a tailspin. I'm lucky I have my wife I really wasn't sure what was going to happen when that car hit us. It was on her side. We were T-boned and we were spinning, and I thought I was going over. So anyway, long story short, I had a big meeting this past Monday with one of my biggest suppliers, and I was like, dude, I'm telling you, I'm looking for 5% growth this year. I'm in the people that are looking for, what did you call them? Experiences. I'm an experience seeker right now. I have 5 cruises in 6 months. I got off a cruise last week and we're on a countdown. I believe it's under 20 days. My wife will know better.
I think it's 23.
23 days to the next cruise. We get off of that one. I'm in Vegas, and then we leave for Hawaii for a 15-day cruise. So I'm not in that wild growth that you guys all are used to hearing from me. I'm about building stronger, more profitable items on eBay right now. I'm moving my Amazon catalog on eBay. I do believe that that Amazon is trying to be a distribution center across all platforms. So after I launch on eBay, bigger on eBay, I'm going into Walmart.com. I'm going to go into Etsy with some of my handmade products and things like that. My growth is going to be much more scaled back. That's why I'm not on here as much. I come on more now because we've changed the way the show is.
Well, compared to most of us, you're already a monster.
I'm going to change the way the show is now. I'm going to change it from live to unalive.
Okay.
I got to read some breakfast. We're at the 2-hour mark. Everybody had such great comments today.
And remember, vote for Biden.
Too bad there's not an eject button. We just can't vote to eject the entire government. That would be awesome.
Here's the thing. You're going to have 2 dinosaurs that neither of which have the best interest of the country. Right now, it's about revenge for both sides. I truly believe that.
I don't think it's going to be 2 fossils. I think you're going to have one. I think you're going to have one, and you're going to have Big Mike on the other side.
Oh, do you?
I think Big Mike. I think they're going to they're going to see their only hope of beating him is Big Mike, and they're going to drop. And he's going to. They're going to say, "Hey, he can't speak anymore. He's got y'all are right. He's diminished. Joe's going to retire." And hey, come on, Big Mike, roll Tide.